Hello, brothers and sisters. This is Brother Jacob McWilliams, fellow targeted individual, fellow Republican, and supporter of the old Republic. I'm going to talk about war strategies. I'm going to lay down war strategies, and I'll get into how hard it is and how many losses we may take. I don't know what all I'm going to get into because obviously I have Havana syndrome. They may interfere with it. What I see, we have to start from the bottom. Start from Florida. Start at Florida. If we're going to take back this country from the deep state and from the CIA and all them, the current FBI, the current intelligence community, current police state, surveillance state, we need to start from the bottom and gradually work our way up. And how hard it is, we need thousands upon thousands. Because they're going to send thousands upon thousands our way. They're going to send thousands upon thousands our way. We got to think what all countries support our current government. What countries support our current government? And how many people within those countries, how many people within those countries support their government? And we need to find out how many people within those countries that support our government, the United States government, and we need to call upon them to be on our side. We need to call upon them people to be on our side. We can also, it may not look good on us, but we can also temporarily call upon the enemies of our government. Call upon the enemies of our government and make deals with them. We will have to make deals with them. That's a last minute option. They probably see the same thing. It's a last minute option, but we got to think how many numbers are against us and how many numbers are for us. So we got to have a government established. We got to figure out when we finally push back and take over, who's going to be the president? Who's going to be the acting president? Who is going to be the acting president? Who's going to be the senators? Because we don't know how many senators in office right now actually back us up and support us. We can't trust them. We know that they're pulling some deceitfulness on us right now. Only very few of us see it. The Bible does say that the beast system will cause the whole world to follow after it. That and even in Matthew chapter 24, Jesus says, if it were possible, even the very elect would be led astray. If it were possible, even the very elect of God shall be led astray, if it were possible. But it's not possible. We can take it to the book of Daniel also to back me up also on the last day remnant. How some will be strong and do exploits. And during that time, many of us will fall by the sword. Some of us will fall by captivity. Some of us will fall by the flames. We'll fall by the gun. If we're going to go based on this age's technology. The sword can mean gun. Exploits is basically war strategies and stuff. Much of America is deceived right now. They're asleep and they don't know that they're asleep, so they're going to side with the enemy. They're going to side with they're siding with the deep state. They think that they're against the deep state. They think they're against the deep state because the deep state is using confusionism on them. Trump is take Trump for example. Trump is the deep state. Trump is a part of the deep state, but he's deceiving people into thinking that he is against the deep state. It's to cause confusion. He's throwing people off of the deep state is what he's doing. Trump is throwing people off of the deep state. This is not a matter of Republican or Democrat. It's not a matter of Republican or Democrat. Trump is not a Republican. You got to use your brain. You have to use your brain. And realize that our Constitution has been manipulated. The original context of the Constitution makes it hard on the government to interfere with our independence. Trump is doing what Obama set out to do. Trump is adding to what Obama set out to do. And that's to turn this state into a surveillance state. Facial recognition surveillance, facial recognition cameras. He's already implemented the Space Force. He supports the Patriot Act, even though he claims that he doesn't. George Bush is the one, while he was in office, implemented the Patriot Act. Obama added to it. Obama had the SEAL Team 6 killed. Obama had the SEAL Team 6 killed because they were going to expose the truth about 9/11. And they were probably going to expose the Patriot Act because they did not. The SEAL Team 6 that died, they support me in my statements in this video here. They support me. They would be fighting alongside me right now, and they would support me in my goals in taking back this country. So we got to take Florida first. We're going to have thousands and thousands of war fighters. I'm not going to call it a rebellion, because when tyranny becomes law, rebellion becomes duty, right? When tyranny becomes law, rebellion becomes duty. That means the tyrants are the rebellion. And the ones that the tyrants label rebellious are actually the ones that become law enforcement. So I would not be considered a rebellion. I would be considered the new law enforcement duty. And they're going to try to say you're impersonating. I'm not impersonating nothing. I'm issuing citizen's arrest. I'm fighting for the Constitution of the United States. That's it. So you can't use none of that against me. You can't use stolen valor against me. You can't shame me by saying you're stolen valor. You ain't a Marine. You ain't an Army. You ain't Navy. You ain't none of that. I don't gotta be. I'm an American. That's all that matters. I'm an American citizen. That's all that matters. They work for me, not the other way around. They work for me, not the other way around. So we got to take Florida first, and you got to think there's several borders on Florida. Florida is bigger than what it looks like on the map. Florida is much bigger than what it looks like on the map. They're going to be bombarding us. They're going to be sending thousands upon thousands, pushing us back off of the border. And our side will take a whole lot of losses. So we got to have we got to match them. And we also got to think, if we do manage to get messages out to any allies that support us, is the deep state going to block those messages from getting out and try to cause delays in our messages? You got to think about that too. That's another downside. Are they gonna? Because since they already have the technology, we're already outnumbered. We're part of it. We're guerrilla warfaremen is what we are. We're limited resources. We have to take over their resources. So they already made it hard on us. So So you got to think: are they going to cause delays in our messages when we send messages out to Palestine? Yes, we're going to have to call up Palestine and see if they will support us. A lot of the countries that the deep state hates, the deep state hates Palestine, we're going to have to call them up for support, and we're going to have to give them a deal. We're going to have to give them a deal. That's what we're going to have to do. Even if our deal is to help them take over a certain territory. Even if our deal is to help them take over a certain territory for them to occupy, we got to make some type of deal with Palestine. So, for them to be our ally. Are we going to allow Islam to enter into the country? No, this is a Christian state. This is a Jesus Christ-driven Christian state, or Christian country is what it is. It would never be Islam. We're not fighting for Islam. We're fighting for the Republic. That's what we're fighting for. Now, I can find common ground here and help you fight for a certain territory if you help us take back our territory. We can help you fight for a certain territory. Those are some certain deals we can lay down on the table. So, we got to think what are going to be our, who are we going to establish as governments? Who are we going to put over in the state of Florida? Because that's the first state we're going to have to take over first. Who are we going to put over the state of Florida? But before we do that, we got to make sure the senators in Florida that will back us up. We got to make sure they're going to back us up, because we may be able to keep the senator in Florida that's already in Florida. So we got to see who all supports us in this, and who all is going to back us up. We may be able to keep them inside their position, allow them to keep their position instead of taking them over. But meanwhile, we got to temporarily capture them, question them, interrogate them. Question them and interrogate them. Mercy will be given depending on the situation. Depending on the situation, mercy will be given. And depends on the situation, we will not shoot any unarmed civilians. Morally speaking. For we are not terrorists, we are patriots. We're patriarchs. We're not terrorists. Even though they would try to label us as terrorists. Shooting anyone that's unarmed is a last-minute option. That's always a last-minute option when we necessarily have to do such a thing. Or let's say we're already sentencing them. See, I'm being manipulated by Havana syndrome. Sentencing them to capital punishment for treason, for example. They're already sentenced to treason. Then of course they're going to have to be. We have to disarm them first before we can sentence them. In case of situations like that. So Florida, we had to make sure we have plenty of warriors, war fighters, surrounding the borders of Florida. We got to make sure we're able to push them back. We need to capture any tanks. We need to capture the naval fleet in Florida. Capture any naval fleets that are remaining in Florida that they have not pulled out. We're going to have to divide our platoons. We got to divide into squads, groups, battalions, ranks. We got to make sure we have different commanders. I may be one of those commanders. War strategists. Possibly. I know I'm not going to be the only one. I can't handle all that by myself. And we got to divide them into groups. We got to send people to take over the fleet, the naval fleets. We got to capture any bases within Florida. And we're going to have to push every tank, every vehicle towards the borders. We need to line those tanks up on the borders and force back anything that tries to threat that tries to get into the borders of Florida. That's one strategy. We need to push back and force them, hold the line until they lose a whole lot of numbers, until they just start losing numbers left and right. And not only that, not only do we need to have thousands upon thousands of people on the borders pushing stuff back, we also need thousands to send out of Florida, to run espionages. We need to run espionages on other states surrounding Florida. Other surrounding states and cities surrounding Florida, we need to run some espionages. We need to take over police departments and take over their arsenals, and we need to suppress any fighters that are preparing themselves in the surrounding states. And then set up defenses and outposts within those surrounding states that surround Florida, as our main forces stay on the borders of Florida until we manage to slowly but surely gain recruits. We need to slowly but surely, we need to try to hunt for recruits, hunt for people that's willing to be on our part, and we need to push them into these surrounding states. We need to push those recruits into the surrounding states to hold the lines. Push them into the surrounding states to hold the lines, or push them all into Florida. Whatever. Half of them in Florida, half of them into the surrounding states, or divide them in twos, divide them in groups. If there are supporters within their own state, I guess they can fight for that one state. But we're gonna have to send some of our people that we already had. We need to send them in there to make sure our new recruits stay in check and all that, and that they're in the positions that they need to be in. There's a lot that's going to go into it. A lot that goes into it. So we need to constantly pour in to these states, and slowly but surely. And it's going to take a long time. It's going to be a long, bloody war, and there's going to be a lot of deaths. Yes, sirree, there's going to be a lot of deaths. So many, and they're the deep state, the ones that are against us, the government that's against us, is going to be pushing propaganda to try to call us terrorists. They're going to be pushing a whole lot of propaganda against us, saying that these people are terrorists. These people are terrorists. Our motive for the war, we're bringing back the American dream. We're getting rid of capitalism. We're getting rid of excessive taxes. We're going to get rid of excessive taxes is what we're going to do. We're going to cut back on AI. Yes, sirree, we're going to cut back on the AI. We're going to put a stop to robots and stuff. We're putting a stop to robots. That's it. All that remote neuromonitoring, that's going to be destroyed. And any surrounding countries that will not let go of their remote neuromonitoring, we're going to bomb the crap out of those surrounding countries. Yes, sirree. We're going to send some air forces over there, and we're going to bomb the bases that won't let go of those remote neuro weapons. Every surrounding country that will not let go of those remote neuro weapons and remote neuromonitoring weapons, microwave auditorial, all the stuff that causes Havana syndrome, we're destroying it. We're going to bomb the crap out of it. Yes, sirree. We ain't playing with you. Ain't playing with you, no fear. So, but all that's going to be gradual, and it's not going to be easy. So, again, if we call up fleets that back us up on surrounding countries, obviously because they got us on remote neuromonitoring, they know what I'm saying before I even say it. They know I'm about to post this video. They hack my phone. They also hack my brain. So, I mean, there's no hiding this information either way. That's the technology they have, and it's unconstitutional because it suppresses our independence. The whole reason why the Constitution was created, the context of it, was to make it hard on stuff like this to suppress our independence. And because my motive for the war is to fight back against excessive taxes, fight back against capitalism, and bring back conservatism and the republic, and to fix the democracy, Democracy and democratic is two different things. To bring back power to the people, it's gonna be hard, and we don't know who all is for us until a war breaks out. Until a war breaks out, we don't know, and that's the price of war. Sometimes you will take losses of innocence, not intentionally. It's the price of war. But it's got to be done. So, yes, take Florida. We need thousands upon thousands. They suppress us before we're even able to gather anything. That's the hard part also. Before we're even able to gather anything, they suppress us. That's what they're doing to me right now. I know I'm not the only one speaking on this. There's other targeted individuals that I've communicated with that are willing to stand on my part. We need to join together somehow. Find a spot to join together. Just know that they're going to be sending people out to try to suppress us. Like, they're going to send Secret Service and all them out to try to suppress us. They did me. They stole some of my weapons and stuff. I didn't have any weapons that I can actually go to war, and that's war-ready weapons. Because they've been suppressing me for years. But they're going to be trying to send people out. They may send undercover agents. We need to keep an eye out. Don't let them take your weapons. Don't let them take it. If you see patrol cars and stuff like that and walk up, don't open the door. Get your guns ready and shoot. Get your guns ready and shoot. Have backup plans. Have backup plans set in motion. So, have cameras set up if you can. They're probably going to try to hack into those cameras. I can't afford none of those. They suppress my jobs. Nearly every single targeted individual, like every targeted individual, they're doing job site torture on. Doing job site torture on. And everyone involved are brainwashed individuals. Brainwashed, asleep individuals. They claim to be against it. They claim to be against the deep state. They claim to, and a lot of them, they voted Donald Trump. They support Donald Trump. A lot of them support Donald Trump. They're government worshippers. A lot of them support Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. A lot of them support Obama. So it's not a matter of Republican or Democrat. Trump is not no Republican. He's a totalitarianism. He's a totalitarian. He's a mixture. He's a mixed breed of stuff. Authoritarian, totalitarian, and capitalist is what he is. A capitalist. Totalitarian. He's a mixed breed of things. So a lot of the people you think are for us, that may seem like they're for us, they're not for us. I don't even think Tulsi Gabbard is for us, but I'm holding on to hopes. I'm trying to keep hope that she is. That I believe that she's dead. I believe that Tulsi Gabbard died, is what I believe. And the person that's playing the part of Tulsi Gabbard, forgive me for spitting, is wearing a silicone face mask. Whoever it is wearing a silicone face mask. But I don't know who that is behind the mask. But they're either deceitful and I suspect them of delaying the inevitable, is what they're doing. They're trying to delay an insurrection because they see an insurrection is coming. There is an insurrection coming. And there's going to be deaths. A lot of deaths. I can't do it on my own. I don't even have the weapons and the manpower to do anything. It's suicide if I do it. I gotta go and perform some last-minute options, and I gotta steal weapons. That's the only way I'm gonna gain access to weapons. I can't buy my own weapons. I can't get a job because they suppress my job. They suppress my job. Some people say, set up shop, set up. I can't set up shop because the enemy's already attacking. I'm being attacked with Havana Syndrome by the enemy. The United States military, Space Force, Air Force, Navy. The community, the police, the local cops, FBI, CIA. The enemy is already attacking. I'm already set up shop, but I'm being attacked right now as we speak. How can I defend myself? I need to go to the enemy's camp and kill them. I can't stay here where I'm at because I'm being attacked right here where I'm at. And they're attacking me from their camp. All while using guinea pig. They're using puppets on a string. They're using the community. They're hiding behind community policing. They're hiding behind community policing. And they're using that as an excuse to torture and harass innocent people. I'm innocent. But they make me out, and they make me look like I'm a criminal. They make me look like I'm a threat. I am a threat to the deep state. I am a threat to anything that's against the old republic. I'm not the type of threat that they make me out to be. I'm not a terrorist threat like they are. But they walking around with a smile on their face, and they know that I'm not that type of threat. But yet they still partake in it. Because they get off on reading someone's thoughts. They think it's cool to read some. Oh, I can read somebody's mind. That's cool right there. I got telekinesis powers. I can read your mind. They think it's cool. They're immature is what they are. Sick in the head is what they are. People that look like they're innocent, look like they're sweet, sweet as can be. They look attractive on the outside. Many of them look attractive on the outside. Many of them look ugly on the outside. Like a dang ogre. And, that's a forced laugh right there from Havana Syndrome. I mean, that is humorous, but still. They look like an ogre. So they're zapping my facial lines. You see the veins popping out. You might think it's because I'm skinny, but eating a burger don't help me gain weight. And that's besides the point. That's the least of my problems. Gaining weight is the least of my problems there. So yes, those are some of the strategies. That's where we would have to start. And you got to think they're going to try to delay any messages we send, and then they're going to call up allies from other countries when if somehow, which I believe we will overthrow them. If somehow they do take too many losses, they're going to try to call up allies theirself. They're going to try to call up some allies theirself. So, the moment our allies start coming in, and we start hearing of those allies coming in, that's if they're not intercepted and destroyed. If our allies that are on their way are not intercepted and destroyed before they even reach our shores. The moment we hear them coming in, we need to start the attack. We need to start the attack. The moment I post this video, they're already going to be on alert. Our enemies are going to be on alert the moment I post this video. That's if they allow this video to go. That's if they don't flag this video. And if they don't allow this video to go through. My YouTube account is already blacklisted. I should have more views than what it's actually showing that I have. I should have more subscribers and likes than what it shows that I have. My YouTube channel is already blacklisted, and every account that I gain is blacklisted. So, go in peace. Shalom.